My name is Lisa Dush, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Writing, Rhetoric, and Discourse. So the online course that I taught was WRD 522. It's called Writing in the Professions. And so this is a graduate level class. It enrolled about 14 students in the section that I'll talk about. So the aim is for students to get both better at writing, professional writing, write a better memo, write a better email, write a better report, but also to be able to have some transportable concepts that they can take from workplace to workplace that will help them to assess the setting and write better for that audience and that purpose. We had, one of the things that I worked to do in the class was to be kind of predictable in my online presence. Students would post their first discussion post by Sunday every week. I would kind of hover around, and I might make an occasional comment before Sunday. Then I would come and look at what had been posted and give some feedback, let the students know that I was paying attention. I might highlight good threads for them to pursue. I might make a sticky post at the top of the discussion forum that said, I read all your posts. Here are some interesting things you talked about. Maybe you didn't talk about X, Y, and Z, so you might consider taking that up for the next round of this discussion. So just being present in the discussion was one key way that students felt my presence. Writing class, I also, of course, did peer reviews or instructor reviews of my students' work. I would stack my own comments on top of students so they knew that I was sort of reading their own peer reviews and trying to help them become better peer reviewers. And so one of the things that I did was I designed an assignment where students would all go, each student would go and interview a professional writer. And we had a common set of interview questions. They transcribed those interviews. They shared them with each other with a cover memo about interesting things that had come up in the course of the interview. And then we used that as a sort of like a data set from which they can figure out a research question. And they work towards writing a final paper or a recommendation report about writing in the workplace. So, the idea there was that's not an assignment that I've done in my face-to-face classes, because in face-to-face class, maybe I might have a final assignment where they're all writing a recommendation report on a different topic. But there you can keep it kind of focused because you're coming to class every Tuesday and Thursday together and talking with each other. But that felt harder to do in the online space, so I thought it was important to kind of rethink it and develop a project that would keep them needing each other, learning from each other. If they did do a good interview, it was going to mean that everybody had a less quality data set to work from for their final project. They had the same question that they were circling around at the end, like how do we make sense of what's in these interviews?